Hello, welcome back to another little film with Nikki. I'm going to go through some of the exercises we're currently doing in our classes, and this is the September-October 2024 term. So this is the first one that everyone's been asking me about because I think it really does help. We don't need to go into the science of how it works, it just does seem to work. So it's a release for the neck and shoulders. So what I'll get you to do is just a basic checkup into your standing posture first of all, thinking about nice balance, hip joint distance apart, find your neutral spine. Incidentally, a little tip to find hip joint distance apart, if you use your fist, place it between the ankle bones. That can be a very good indicator of the width of the hip joint, not the hips here, okay? So that's a good way if you want to use that. Try and find your neutral position. Again, so a little bit of tuck and tilt, tucking tailbone under, then pushing it back. Go as far as you can in each direction. So from sideways on, that will look a little bit like this. So a little bit of a tuck under, come through to center, and then tuck forwards. So a nice way just to mobilize through your lower back, keeping the feet in contact with the floor, and then find the point where you think you're somewhere in the middle. So just slowing that tilting down, find the midpoint. It's usually where you're at the tallest. So if you tip forward, you lose a bit of height. As you come through the middle, you gain. If you tuck under, you lose a bit of height. Come through to the middle, you gain. And we're trying to think about then placing the rib cage on top of the pelvis, and then set your weight back, whoops, so you're nicely aligned. Okay, I'll use the excuse that the floor's a little bit uneven here. The house does go like that a little bit. Okay, right, so do what you need to settle. Once you feel that you're in good posture, let's look over one shoulder and see what you are looking at. Make a note of it, and then come back to the center. If you take the arm that is the same side as the shoulder you've just looked at and then put that on top, cross the arms over, let's take a nice lateral breath in, and then as you breathe out, start to rotate the chest but keep looking forwards. Nice and slow and steady, and then breathing in on the return journey. And then breathing out as you go again, nice and slow and steady for the first couple. This is good. And then you can start to increase the movement flow and just work with a little bit more freedom. Hips can come along for the ride, particularly any osteoporosis or any lumbar back surgery, hip area that if it's just painful, just bring the hips with you. Good. Note what your feet are doing, because remember through the arches of the feet as you twist, you're going to get a little bit of a lift through there as well. Okay, once you've done that, drop the arms by your side, find your good posture, and then look over your shoulder again. Have you made a change to the range of movement that you now have over your shoulder? Definitely here. Let's do the other side. So just look over your shoulder, note what you're looking at, and then come back to center. Checking good posture. That hand now goes on top of the other one. We come into a good flow of breath. Nice lateral breath in. As you breathe out, start to rotate slowly. You could keep your hips facing forwards or bring them along with you, depending on your circumstance. So as I've said, anyone with osteoporosis, it's better really to bring your hips with you. Anyone that's had any surgery fusing discs, maybe think about bringing your hips along as well. But keep that head facing to the front and then speeding that up so you get a little bit of elasticity. So what I mean by that, so you keep going with that twisting. What I mean by that is when you stretch something, there's always a recoil. Yeah, you see that on the band? So, sorry, get my arms around the right way again. So when you go with a bit of freedom, go to that recoil point and just allow the body to spring back. Yep, and then come back, check over your shoulder again, What are you looking at this time? I hope that you've increased the range of movement slightly. It's a really nice exercise to do. Rotation is an important part of our everyday movement. So thinking about when you might use that, perhaps getting into the car, perhaps looking over your shoulder to see out of the junctions, walking along, seeing if someone's behind you. Those are just two examples, okay? When you walk, when you move, when you run, there is rotation required, yeah? If you swim, rotation required, yeah? So think about when you put these movements, we practice them, we're increasing them, then note it when you're doing them in every day. Lovely, well done. Check back in soon again for another little snippet. Hope to see you soon.